Hey everyone, welcome back. So this week's tutorial, we're going to focus on rolling. Now, the past couple of weeks, we've been focusing on the basic fundamentals of parkour. We haven't covered all of them yet, but I just want to reiterate that you should always stretch, not, intense stretching, but a little dynamic stretching and warming up before you do any of these tutorials. It's great to get your blood moving, temperature up, just so that you don't pull muscle, you'll be less sore the next day, and so that you just feel really good to go. Now, there are specific reasons why we roll in parkour. Safety, and then also the continuation of our momentum. The best bet you want to do is practice on something that has a little give, whether it's carpeting or a gymnastics floor or a panel mat. Today we're going to actually do it on grass. And just a tip for those that are trying this for the first time, or if you're mostly doing gymnastics rolls, the kids and myself as an example, those that I teach, this tends to be one of the things that gives the most people, or that gives people the most problem. It can be very frustrating to do a roll, if you don't get it the first time. So don't give up, and just remember that to get something perfected, you need to get numbers in for the roll. So, 20 rolls a day or more, that's good to start. You do 20 in the morning, 20 in the evening. Just don't roll in dog poop. Christine is going to be my lovely assistant today. So I'm going to teach her how to do the parkour roll. She's never actually done a gymnastics roll or a parkour roll. So this will be her first time doing it. So it'll give you a great first-hand account of how I would actually teach someone how to roll. So one of the things you want to check, especially if you are outside, that you have a clear area, that you don't, I think it's at puberty. You want to double check that you have a clear area. You don't want to, you want to make sure there's no rocks or obviously a pine cone sticking out. Anything that would hurt a lot if you're going to be rolling. Also make sure that all dog poop and syringes are out of the way. Alright, Christine.
See?
Check your area.
Check my area.
Okay.
Okay, checked.
We like to have fun. We're accepting interns if you want me to teach you how to do something. So the first thing that I'm going to have her do is, are you righty or lefty?
Righty.
Righty? Okay. So sometimes you might be working on your right side rolls and you realize that you actually are better on the left side. So play with both sides to make sure that you are comfortable with both anyway, just in case, you do fall. You don't have to be like, oh, in the middle of it, try to turn the other way. So we'll start with her right side first. So I'm just going to have her come down on her knee to propose to me. Okay, you can come this way more, because I'm not going to actually, yeah. So you want to be like this on your knee. And what she's going to do is she's going to turn her foot under like this, her toe under on the ground. She's going to take her right arm, turn it so her palm is facing the inside of her knee. And she's going to take it and step on her foot, not too hard, so that her elbow is kind of close to her knee. And then she's actually going to reach out a little bit, kind of the corner right here. She's not going to stand up all the way, just a little bit, and she's going to roll. Be sure when you roll to tuck your head. You don't want your head to touch the ground at all. Your brain and your spine are pretty important. I'll do it first, okay? So hold on to your foot the entire time. Good. Okay, so what'd she do, guys? She jumped onto her back. Now, you don't want to do that. You okay? Here.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to jump. So you want to make sure that you don't stand up all the way when you actually do that roll. And it takes practice. So I'm going to have Christine watch from the side this time so that she can see how close I get to this part of my, the right side of my back. So right here. Because when you roll, you want to go diagonally. You want to go from about right here to the top of your butt, because that's like where the meatiest part of your body is going to be. Slightly crossing through the mid-spine. Now you want to make sure, of course, yes, you don't hit right here, because you could break your clavicle? No. Shoulder? Well, it's your collarbone, but is it a clavicle? There are people around, sorry, I don't think I'm crazy. Yeah, so just make sure that you are round, because just like I tell my kids, when you're a ball, you roll a lot easier than a square. So stay nice and rounded. And a lot of people make the mistake of opening up too early when they do their roll instead of standing up right away. So I'll do it again. So, you ready? Watch how I stand up like a little bit. I don't stand up a lot. So here. And I just kind of fall onto my back. I kind of let when my hips are up over my shoulders, like right here, my body weight just kind of folds into itself. Yeah! That was much better! So once you get that down, what you can start doing, because obviously when you're jumping, you're not going to jump and be like, freeze! And do that. That kind of defeats the purpose of having momentum. You're going to do the same thing without stepping on your hand. So you're just going to take that same arm and kind of swipe it through and actually watch it as it goes through. You'll stand up a little bit as well, just because you want to get your hips, up over your head, shoulders. So you'll go like this. Yeah, because this will, use that arm to kind of get absorb it a little bit, but it'll be like absorb scoop. There you go, nice. Now, if you're on concrete, I want to recommend rolling on your knee. Some people do, to each their own. Everyone kind of rolls a different way. Some people roll without using their hands. Some people roll straight down their spine. I want to be safe, so I really try to roll on my shoulders without hitting my knees on the ground. So in order to do that, you just have to turn your body a little bit more. So if you're going over your right shoulder, be sure to come up with your feet. Let's see, yeah. So you'll come up with your feet like this. See how I do that? Yeah. So you can practice that by rolling back and then coming up like this. So like rolling back on your shoulder and using your hands right here to help you come up. Okay, so now that Christine has practiced her right side, both grabbing underneath her foot and then also just, gliding her arm through, I'm gonna have her switch sides, because it's always important to be able to do rolls on both sides, just in case, like I said before, you encounter, you fall, or, you need to, your left foot's in front. So yeah, let's do one on the left, same thing. Yeah, you're gonna look that way. Good. Okay. Like, think of yourself as soon as your body touches, like whatever part of your body, it just folds and it rolls like that. Like you're like naturally, you're like water.
You're like water.
Like,
I like that.
Stay rounded. Like as soon as you go, round up.
Okay.
Be like a really tight ball. There you go. That was a nice one. When you're doing rolls, even when you're doing them on concrete, grass, pretty much just concrete and grass or any hard surface like that, they're still going to be a little painful. And that's just something that you're going to have to get used to, build up, right here. Most people just don't have random like fat and muscle covering certain parts, excuse me, of their back. So like with Christine here, just make sure that you're really, as soon as your body makes contact with the ground, you're almost, not relaxing, but you're just like folding into yourself. You're just like, meh. Okay, so now Christine is going to do the one where she scoops through on her left side. Good. Kind of came up maybe right here on her side.
Yeah.
So try to get your foot down. Like, remember what I said about coming up like this, as opposed to coming up like that. And you don't want to get right there on your hip. That hip bone right there, you don't want to come sideways on it. I just flatten my leg all hardcore.
Alright.
Into a split. I'm just kidding. I notice a lot of the kids that I teach when I'm teaching them how to do rolls. They do two things that I notice. They switch their feet in the middle of the roll. So if you are going on your right shoulder, they don't come up with their right leg in front like this. They actually come up like this, which in turn turns your body more. So when I'm doing my roll, I leave my leg the same so that I can get that inside leg underneath me so that I can get it right on the ground without hitting my knee on the ground. I can show you that if you want. Do you want me to come at you? And then I'm able to like push off the ground right away to continue my momentum. And then the other thing I notice is when they do switch that leg, it causes them to open up more. So I'm actually going to switch my leg. I don't even know if I can do it right or wrong. Right or wrong, whatever. But, so if I was to go this way and then try to come up with this leg underneath me, my body actually turns and then I open up and then I don't really know where, I'm physically having to sit up and put my hands here, which is, then I have to push myself off the ground like that. So then I end up doing like a regular gymnastics roll. So be sure to, you know, stretch your neck out and stuff and your shoulders for this, just because you might get a little bit of a headache later, especially if the first couple of rolls you do, you kind of pound your back on the ground and, you know, possibly knock the wind out of you. So we're gonna do one last drill for today, moving on to like the third step of a roll, because when you're beginning, until you've done lots of numbers and you feel comfortable, I would recommend not jumping off of anything yet or adding any momentum, just because you want your roll to be 100% perfected. So, you know, next week or the week after, we'll definitely get into more rolling. Christina will work on her rolls by herself, and I'll have you jump off of things that are, you know, only knee height, you know, getting a little bit more momentum, and even just standing up, because just starting on the ground versus standing up is still a very big difference. So we're going to do the last one, and what Christine is going to do, I'm just going to come back over here because there's rocks and stuff over there. She's going to just start down here now so that she doesn't have one of her feet in front of her. Now, she could do this two ways, like I was saying, for people that roll differently. She can reach out and slide her hand like this and bring it under her like that, or she can actually catch herself like this and absorb, and kind of absorb her weight here and roll from here to her back. So I can show you the first one if you want. That one takes a little, that's like what I do. I mean, I think that's a little bit more advanced. But. Or you can do that's my left side too, so. Or you can go here and. It just depends on how much weight bearing you want. I'll lead you through it. So squat down like this. Good. Well, what do you want to do first?
I'll do the
scoop. Okay, you're gonna scoop your right hand, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So you'll just have to actually get your hips. So see my hips? Get them up like that.
under my left finger.
Yeah, you can look under.
Oh my god!
You threw yourself. This gives you an idea of when you're starting out on the first time on the grass. A couple of them can, you know, jar you. So take it easy on yourself and don't do so many of them that you're gonna have a major headache. Alright, so we're gonna conclude our tutorial for this week because Christina hasn't really had a lot of time to work on the rolls today, and the next step, I really don't feel comfortable with her doing the rolls yet. So next week we're gonna work on vaulting, and stay tuned for like the conditioning and that kind of stuff, and just be sure to check back on our previous tutorials to keep working on that stuff. You know, always stretch, do a little conditioning, and warm up. You can even cool down too. So we will see you next week.